Hello, my little fuzzy bat butts, and welcome to another episode of The Lady of Haunts. I am your Lady of Haunt, Allison, and I'm coming at you today with another beautiful video having to do with the paranormal and paranormal activity. Please feel free down below to share with me your stories of paranormal or any questions you have regarding paranormal, and I will do my very best to tackle those questions in future episodes and maybe shed some light on things so it is no longer quite so scary and it is more understood. Today I have quite a few questions that are wonderful and I can't wait to answer, so let's jump right into it. First question is from Miss Pookie Doodle. Lovely username, I like it. It says, do you believe in people's spirits being transferred to animals or objects after they die? As after my uncle died, we have been followed around by crows a lot, and we believe it's my uncle. We believe it's him because when he was alive, he would dress up as the crow from the film every Halloween, and he was known for it. And it's only after his death that we have started being followed by crows. What's your view on it, and do you believe in that sort of thing? Loved ones, when they have passed over, they are able to send us messages through animals and through even insects, and sometimes flowers as well, just so you can know that they're okay and they're doing well on the other side. So I believe that he is sending you guys crows because he knows that you guys know that's his symbol and he can send them to you, and it's more of a thing of saying, hey, I love you and I'm watching over you. So I think that's where he's coming from with sending you guys crows. So I do believe that we can send animals to our loved ones, and we can send like gifts of flowers and insects and animals, anything that like represents you or a special hidden language you had with someone that they would understand. I believe that you can send things to them as a way to say, I love you and I'm doing okay. So on to the next question. This question is from Dark Ash Haunts. Oh, sorry. Dark Ash Hurts. And it is, I've had so many paranormal experiences in the past, but I never talk about it. What you said in the beginning is completely true, and this was on one of my videos. Earlier this year, I figured out I'm somewhat of a sensitive, or maybe an empath, and I unknowingly attracted them, which is why I've had so many problems. It was a revelation. Almost all of my experiences happened while I was in middle school and high school after I started believing in paranormal. Frequently, things started happening and with different spirits, some even relatives, all seemingly positive. I also had bad dreams every night, was afraid when I was alone in my home, and super emotional sensitive. I didn't think it related though. But in college, I had my first bad negative visitor that woke me up one night and sat on top of my legs. I couldn't move, and my cover was flat against me. It eventually got off, and I was so scared that I snapped. I got so angry and yelled at it, banishing it from my house, property, taking ownership, etc. I was tired of it all. I repeated this every day for a year until I felt comfortable at home. Unknowingly, I had closed the door to paranormal for me and any sensitivity I have. I've never had an experience since, positive or negative, and I rarely dream about at all anymore. There's more to the story, but it's changed my life figuring all this out. Oh, and recently I casually started talking to my older sister about ghosts. She proceeded to tell me that she thought our house was haunted in the past, which she lived there. She then repeated the same bad visitor story to me. It happened to her too. I was so scared to tell her. So the whole thing about seeing spirits whenever you're about to go to sleep or whenever you wake up and being held down, being woken up from your sleep and being held down, is actually a thing called sleep paralysis, and it is very, very common. Scientists, there's two sides to the story. People believe that it could be ghosts or demons, and then scientists believe that it is actually your mind projecting. You're still in a dream state, and whenever you wake up, you're paralyzed because the rest of your body hasn't waken up, and it's just your brain that's woke up, and your brain will project images that you're thinking. And so if you get scared, your brain will project these scary images, much like if you were in a nightmare or a dream. And they tell you, if you have sleep paralysis, to try to wiggle your fingers or your toes, and it'll help you regain and be able to move again. I have experienced sleep paralysis. It is very, very, very scary. They say that it's attributed to anxiety, sleep deprivation if you haven't slept very much, or if you've been staying up at night and you can't fall asleep. If you have like insomnia, you will get sleep paralysis. The cure for sleep paralysis is make sure that you don't sleep laying flat on your back. I suppose from what I've read is that there's not enough oxygen, or your lungs have a harder time breathing, your throat and everything. So it causes you to wake up in this half asleep state where your mind projects images, and it can cause you to feel paralyzed because the rest of your body has not woken up yet. It's just your brain that's woken up. So there's a lot of theories about sleep paralysis and whether or not that it is spiritual. Scientists have done experiments and they have seen that it is actually within the brain. There's only a certain part of the lobe that is awake, and the rest of your body has not awakened yet from your sleep state. So I'm not just counting your story, and I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying that it's an interesting topic, and I highly recommend people to look into it. What do you guys think about sleep paralysis? Have you experienced it? Do you think that it's more of your brain being awake and the rest of your body's not awake yet? Or do you think that it's really paranormal, or that it really is demons attacking you? I know a lot of people suffer it, and it's really scary because it can continue for months, weeks, sometimes even years of having it. And if you have it really bad, you can seek medical attention, and doctors actually have medication they can give you. What they have found is that it's mostly from lack of sleep, and that is what causes it. So if you're a college student studying a lot, you might experience this, or even if you're in high school and you aren't getting enough sleep. At any time, if it's just not enough sleep, usually your mind will put you into a state of sleep paralysis, and it's really, really, really scary. So if you're having a hard time getting over it on your own, or fighting the symptoms on your own, feel free to go to a doctor, because they do give you medical help for that. So for my next question, it is from Spooky Mom, and it says, I saw that same episode of an Amish haunting. I thought it was interesting. Have you seen Ghost Asylum on the same channel? What do you think about the taps? Oh, sorry. Let me repeat that. What do you think about the traps these ghosty hunters make? Ghost Asylum is a show that's on Destination America, and basically it's this group of investigators who actually make traps to try to catch ghosts and demons. Like, they're like trying to take Ghostbusters and make it real life and actually catch ghosts and catch demons. The show kind of irritates me, and I have a really hard time watching it because the English grammar is so awfully askewed in it, and it's so backwoods and country, and the people seem to kind of know what they're doing, but I feel like a lot of it is on assumptions, and there needs to be a skeptic in the group. Whenever you have a ghost hunting group, it makes it more balanced to have one super skeptic in the group. And the show, all of the hunters on this team are like die-hard ghost believers, which is cool, but we need a skeptic there to like balance everybody and bring them down and be like, hey, you know, that noise wasn't really a lady screaming. It was actually a mountain lion roaring. Because mountain lions, if you ever out in the country and you're doing a ghost investigation, mountain lions, whenever they roar, they sound just like a screaming lady. So if you think you're hearing a banshee, it's probably just a mountain lion. And barn owls make freaky noises too, and I used to live out in the country, so I heard all of these animals, and whenever I watch these ghost hunting shows, and there are certain noises they hear, and they're like, oh, what was that? It's actually normally an animal from outside, but I digress. The Ghost Asylum show, I get really irritated whenever I watch it. I don't like the grammar on it, and I'm kind of like crazy obsessive whenever it comes to grammar, and it's really irritating, the country slang, and the objects they make to try to catch the ghosts are all like very I'm trying to look for a word. They're all kind of like crap objects that you find out in a dumpster that they throw together, and supposedly it's supposed to catch a ghost. And I don't believe that you can catch ghosts, and I don't believe that you can trap or contain a ghost, and I don't think that it is good or that you ever should contain a ghost, because they have a message they're trying to get out, and what the hell are you going to do with the ghost once you contain it? Like, are you going to put it in a box somewhere? And you can't contain it because a ghost can be in multiple places at once. There's just so many things and facets that go into this, and it's very irritating. Has anybody else seen this show? It's called Ghost Asylum. It's on Destination America. Please, in the comments below, tell us, what do you think about Ghost Asylum, and what do you think about catching ghosts with ghost hunter devices? Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's ridiculous? What are your views on these contraptions that they're making? Personally, I think it is absurd and silly as all get out. My next question that I have is from Gabby Can't Skate, and it's, I've only had one experience, and I was wondering if you had any comments to make on it, have any idea what it could be. I saw a girl walking through a hallway at my home past me into another room, and when I went to the room, no one was there. The girl looked incredibly real and human, but was definitely not anyone in my house. I was very confused by the whole thing, as my house doesn't seem to have any obvious history, and I have never had any other experiences at all. Well, I don't really know the history of your house, and I don't know how old it is, and what it looks like, when it was built. These are all factors that would kind of play into me being able to diagnose what it could be. If your house might have been built on land of a house that had burnt down, she could be a ghost from a house that was previously there. She could be a ghost even older, a native ghost, or a ghost that used to live on the land. It could have been a human that lived there before. It could be an imprint of energy. It could be residual, which is the imprint of energy. It could be that your house, if it was built where a house used to be, or if it's been remodeled, ghosts sometimes walk through walls because they are walking the old route of whenever they were alive. So she could be walking a way through the house that you aren't aware of, and that could be like if you ever see her pass through walls, or you ever see her go through someplace else, it's usually because they're walking the old route of whenever they were alive. There's a lot of factors that could go into what exactly it is. I recommend looking into the history of the land that your house was built on, and you could probably find some answers there. You might even look at the surrounding areas of your house, and the history of the houses around your house, or the land around your house, because it could be a ghost that has just come to the house because it knows you're sensitive and it wants to get a message across to you. I would just tread easily and make sure that you aren't tapping into anything that you shouldn't be tapping into, and more than likely she's probably just residual, because if she didn't acknowledge you or hasn't tried to acknowledge you, she might just be a residual haunting where it's just a playback of history and it's not actually an intelligent haunting. So yes, those are my questions that I've answered. We are running short on time at this moment. Please feel free to ask more questions below, and we will continue on with this series. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I really enjoy talking with you guys and sharing these points of view. So I love you all. Be safe, live in the moment, be free, and do what you want to do. Mwah! Talk to you very soon. Goodbye.